Namaste and welcome to a brand new episode of Mirror Prime. I'm Ashish Pareek, and amid the ongoing drama in Indian cricket, the spotlight has now shifted to the growing tussle between players and administrators, with Sanju Samson and the Kerala Cricket Association at the centre of a new controversy. Samson's father, Vishwanath, has now accused the KCA of plotting a conspiracy against his son, alleging that a deliberate effort to tarnish his reputation and force him out of the Kerala cricket is underway. The issue stems from Samson's omission from the Vijay Hazare Trophy squad, reportedly for skipping a mandatory camp. Eventually, this even resulted in Samson actually missing out on a spot in the Champions Trophy. And amid all this allegation coming in from Sanju Samson's father, the KC, the Kerala Cricket Association, well, we spoke to them. They did not want to come on record, but the sources now suggest that the exclusion of Sanju Samson was procedural, claiming that Samson was absent during the selection process. His father now has dismissed the defense, calling it an orchestrated move to target his son unfairly. Now, all this comes at a time when star cricketers of the Indian team are slowly returning to domestic cricket. But still, they continue to struggle to find their footing. In fact, big names like Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, everyone played Ranji Trophy matches today. And you look at the scores, you'd be shocked. They faltered with low scores yet again. Now, this shows how their struggles are not just limited to international cricket. The Samson KCA rift is just another example of a deeper issue of trust and communication between players and administrators. Is this just a case of miscommunication, or is an ego tussle ruining a promising career, eventually causing a damage to Indian cricket as well? We'll be discussing this in detail. We'll be joined by our guests as well. But first, let me go across to my colleague Arpita, who was the one who actually spoke to Sanju Samson's father as well as the Kerala Cricket Association. Arpita, if you can hear us, first help us understand the entire controversy. You had a word with KCA sources, you had a word with Sanju Samson's father. What are they saying?
Well, so the latest that's coming in here from the cricket industry is that there is a tussle between Sanju Samson and the Kerala Cricket Association. But this comes after he was omitted from the Vijay Hazare Trophy squad. But remember, when I spoke to the sources in Kerala Cricket Association, they said Sanju Samson was unavailable during the selection procedure, because of which they couldn't select Sanju, and he was back on the day when the team was traveling for the tournament. And they have clearly said that they have communicated this to Sanju Samson, and he understood what was the issue. So they have also said that Sanju Sam, from his side, there is no, he is okay with not being part of the tournament because he was not available during the selection procedure. But on the other hand, his father is alleging that the Kerala Cricket Association is trying to tarnish his image. They are trying to spoil his career. He has come out and said that since past few years they have he and his family is facing issues from the Kerala Cricket Association. They have tried to stop him from playing multiple games, and they've tried to stop him from doing multiple things. So his father is alleging that Kerala Cricket Association is trying to stop him from growing, and therefore he wants Sanju Samson to soon move out from Kerala so that his career growth is not hampered. But on the other hand, Kerala Cricket Association has completely denied that, saying they are unaware of any such issue, and they are saying that no, Sanju Samson was clearly communicated what the issue was, and since he was not available in Kerala during the selection procedure, he was told about it clearly that he won't be able to they won't be able to select him in the squad, and he had agreed to it. And it was clear from Sanju Samson and association's part that there was no any such issue. And they also said that it was just the family who was giving such false accusation. It was just an allegation. They had clearly said that his family uh, it is
Right,
if they
Arpita.
will
So we clearly
clearly.
get an idea about what was happening there, and this is a controversy that is erupting and, of course, embarrassing as far as Indian cricket is concerned. Joining us right now is Joseph Hoover, who's a cricket writer, Vedam Jaishankar, sports journalist. Shortly, we'll also be joined by Atul Vasan, who's a former Indian cricketer. Now, Joseph, let me start with you. this entire controversy. Sanju Samson, his father, he's been in the news in the past as well for his statement. How do you look at it? Is this a miscommunication between the player and the board, or is this an emotional outburst, or is it an ego of a player versus the ego of the cricket administrators?
I see. Sanju Samson had in fact written to Jayesh George and said that he was not he was unavailable for the training camp. When that has been communicated, I don't understand why the Kerala Cricket Association had to take such a strong action against that boy. I mean, after all, he's done well for India recently. In the T20s, he's got hundreds, and you need to respect that. Would they dare to touch a Sachin Tendulkar or a Dravid or a Kohli or a Rohit Sharma? And this attitude of the Kerala Cricket Association throwing their weight around, saying that we know how to deal with you, how we can punish you. This is ridiculous. This hurts Indian cricket, not just Kerala cricket. This lad has been performing. He's always had issues. Though he's been performing, he's been left out of the teams, Indian team. And now that he's been performing, this is a responsibility of the Kerala Cricket Association to say that, okay, we understand maybe you have some other issues. You finish with your assignments and then come and join the team. You remove him from the team, Vijay Hazare team. I mean, he's a key player. They know he's the captain. Is that the attitude of the attitude of the Kerala Cricket Association or any official for that matter? These officials think they're too big. Their attitude stinks of arrogance. They think they can do whatever they want. What cricket have these guys played? What standing do they have to touch a player of his caliber? When Rahul Dravid and Sachin Tendulkar see so much talent in this boy, one piddly fellow called Jayesh George has the authority, the guts to put an Indian cricketer out of the Kerala cricket team. When Kerala cricket needs such players, how can they do this? This is the attitude I'm telling you because I know how the
But again,
associations are run.
Joseph,
There
this
are
also
crooks
is a
in the
question of
association who make
availability.
money.
Now, Vedam, I totally understand, Joseph, what you're trying to say here. Sanju Samson has done a lot for Kerala cricket and Indian cricket as well. And of course, if he says he's unavailable, that is a totally understandable point, something that the Kerala cricket must respect as well. But Vedam, the question that a lot of fans now say is that why do cricket boards or why should cricket boards function on the whims and fancies of a cricketer? Now, a cricketer comes out and says, I'm unavailable. In the middle of a tournament, he then suddenly tells them that, yes, I'm available, I'm ready for selection. And then if they pick him, isn't it injustice for a player who's been toiling hard, who's been available throughout? That's a different part of the argument.
Yeah, Ashish, but let's understand one thing. Most of these cricketers are outliers. If you're not an outlier, you're not going to play for India. That's for sure. A state like Kerala does not have experience in managing cricketers. I can't think of, maybe there are two or three names. Srishant maybe one, Johanan maybe another, and now maybe Sanju Samson. About two or three cricketers. It's not like a Bombay Cricket Association or a Karnataka Cricket Association where you handle a lot of players. So, you also get used to, it's like a teacher. A teacher must get used to handling students. Likewise, an association must get used to players. And you can't expect these guys to behave like maybe the fifth division player or a fourth division player. This is where man management comes in. And Kerala has to understand that there will be these kind of cases again and again. They need to tackle this properly and with lot more maturity and understanding. Yes, Sanju Samson might have put in a couple of demands. Maybe he's not turned up as a chief guest for one of the shows of the Cricket Association office bearers. Maybe something like that. But, this is part and parcel of the game. They should understand that he is a performing cricketer because he also behaves differently. Temperamentally is different from your regular run-of-the-mill cricketer. They should understand that. But they have not understood it. And they have not understood it because they're not used to handling players. That's the problem. Now, the second part of your question, yes,
absolutely,
we know that there is something happening behind the scenes. Why would you make a Shubnam Gill a vice captain? They obviously North and West zones must have ganged up together. You've kept out so many people from maybe from South or from maybe some other place. So, even in the composition of the team, there's a lot of understanding going on. Joseph was absolutely right when he said, a guy has got 3 centuries. He is not there in the team. He is not there. It's like, they're scared to give him a chance. It's like they're scared to give Karun Nair a chance. What if he does well? What if he clicks? And people like Kerala who don't understand that, you have to back your man. You got to make him play. You got to back him. Yes, he will do things that you don't like, but he is not there for
Absolutely.
that. He's not there
Now,
to please
now,
you.
Vedam, I
You have
totally
to
understand this argument, but again, it's the father of the cricketer that is spoken out. In fact, now I want Joseph to speak about this because I believe Joseph would also have an opinion on this. I'll ask my team to play out all the visuals of all the dad statements that have come out. In fact, someone from my team was also calling it a sour dad syndrome, because these are the sort of statements that the dads of cricketers, fathers of cricketers have been given for time immemorial, right from Srishant to Yograj Singh. You can think of multiple cricketers. We'll be playing it out on the screens right now. Joseph, how do you look at the statement coming in from Sanju Samson's father? Now, we saw Ashwin's father also not very long ago come out and say that his son was humiliated. Now, Sanju Samson's father says that again his son is being treated unfairly. How do you look at all these statements coming in from the fathers?
I mean, it's unnecessary, but it's a father's pain when he sees his son being treated the way he's been treated. They're bound to speak out because it's emotional. We need to understand that. But then again, even parents need to be told they need to hold the line, hold the fire, because it's going to definitely put their own son or children into kind of trouble with the BCCI or the Kerala Cricket Association or whichever association they play with. So the fathers being emotional is fine. Like you've seen Yograj Singh, as you said rightly, you've seen recently what happened with Ashwin. Parents are bound to speak out. But for Sanju's father to go about, aggravating the situation where they should be sitting together and saying, okay, what is the way forward? Instead of that, making all this noise doesn't help. It's good for the news bit, but it definitely hurts Kerala Cricket Association, the Indian cricket, and also the future of Sanju Samson. Because every time something comes up, this will always be back of the mind. Just imagine a Sachin Tendulkar, if he decides I'm going to do this, would anybody dare to touch him? I've seen how he could handle things. And he said to the BCCI, this is what I want done. They would do it because they respected him. And now Sanju was merely written to them saying he's not available for the training camp. What was the big deal? It's obviously an ego. It's like, I'm the boss of the association. I can do what I want. I can destroy anybody's career. I can make anybody's career. This is the attitude I see across everywhere, not just Kerala.
The
I see it
argument,
in
but the problem,
Karnataka.
Joseph,
I see it in
here,
Hyderabad,
Joseph,
Tamil Nadu,
a
everywhere.
lot of fans today, I'm sure they'll be agreeing with a lot of things that you say, but a lot of fans also have a problem, and I want Vedam to respond to this. Vedam, there's a problem with the fact that we now say that a so-and-so superstar cricketer has agreed to play domestic cricket. Now, if it's a centrally contracted player, why are we leaving it to a player to agree to play domestic cricket? I think India is probably the only country in the top 3 nations now where we allow superstars to decide whether they want to play domestic cricket or not. It's absolutely appalling, the fact that we use the word agreed.
You're right. But I look at it differently. If we have superstars playing domestic cricket, then you will see the true worth of the other players, the lesser players. Now, take today's case. You talked about Ranji Trophy. Punjab was 55 all out. Shubman Gill scored just 4 runs. So you know the quality of bowling of the Karnataka medium pacers. And they're really good. And they've got a gem in that Abhilash Shetty. So how do you really come to know that Abhilash Shetty is good when he gets rid of people like Shubman Gill, who are supposed to be India stars? So that is exactly why I would like the superstars to play, so that you find the true worth of the others who are coming up the ranks. But you mentioned about the other teams also.
Vedam,
We
we
have a
also,
problem. We are
Vedam,
playing too much.
sorry to interrupt, but we also find the true worth of the so-called superstars. These are players who went down under. For example, Rohit Sharma got out for 3 runs today. Yashasvi Jaiswal got out for 5. Shubman Gill out for 4. Shreyas Iyer out for 11. Now, these are our so-called superstars who directly walk into the team. These players are now being dismissed so cheaply in Ranji.
So that's a slap in the face for the selectors, who have backed them so much. But we also play a lot of cricket. We must accept that the players need some rest. How will they play so many matches? But it's like the olden days tennis story. You give X number of tournaments. Like if there are 14 domestic matches, maybe they should play about 11 or 10 or 9. Whatever, let the board decide. Let the player choose which 9 is going to play or which 8 is going to play. But that should be the case, especially when you have too much of cricket. It is a challenge playing so much of cricket. You're playing international cricket, you're playing IPL, you're playing a whole lot of other things. So it is a challenge. You can't be at peak fitness throughout. You have to peak at the right time. And players also need to look after their body, look after their form. That takes time, and you need to manage that. The board also has to be sensible. Yes, get them to play domestic cricket, but tell them this is the number of matches that you have to play at the end of the year as per your contract. It's not a question of agreeing or not agreeing. I don't think it's physically possible for anybody anywhere in the world to play as much cricket as the Indian cricket team is playing and still play domestic cricket and still play club cricket. Many of the former stars have said that they played club
All right.
cricket, they played here.
All right,
Yes,
Vedam, we
they
are actually
played
now
because they
playing
didn't
out
play
the scores
IPL.
of these
They
cricketers
had the
now.
whole summer off.
A lot of fans who are watching right now must be really thinking if these are the superstars that Indian cricket have. Joseph, now you look at the scores that are being played out on the screens. Rohit Sharma out for 3, Jaiswal out for 5, Shubman Gill out for 4, Shreyas Iyer out for 11. Now, Vedam says that this helps us test the domestic performance, domestic bowling, domestic players. But what I understand from this is we're actually able to test the so-called caliber of our superstars here. Because these players walk into the team, there's no debate about their sport, but look at how they're performing at Ranji. Now, when someone asks anyone to drop these players, we are being told that no, these players, their caliber is of some other level. They are generational players, they're generational talents. You're not supposed to question their place. But what about other batsmen who in the same match score truckloads of runs? What about Karun Nair? What about Abhimanyu Iswaran?
When you come to Karun Nair, I mean, especially when he has done well during the domestic season, he's done exceptionally well, even the Ranji Trophy. He's done, as we all know, he scored 752 runs in the Vijay Hazare. What are we send? What message are we sending out to players in the domestic cricket? Whether you perform or not, the superstars are there, so you don't have to. You don't get a place in the side. Yes, I understand. At one time, Amol Majumdar was a fantastic cricketer, but he couldn't play because at that time our batting strength was there, and our guys were performing consistently, except for maybe Ganguly here and there. Our guys were performing very, very well. So Amol Majumdar could not play. But here you say that these guys have come and failed. It does happen. Cricket is a one-ball game. If you get going, you can get 100 or you can get on to the first ball itself. Yes, they've had a poor match, but we should remember
But the
these guys
problem,
have
Joseph,
performed over a period of
I
time.
totally
You need to
understand.
expect-
Now, cricket form is temporary in cricket, Joseph. That's totally understandable. But the problem is, we have a player like Rohit Sharma. Now, on the show today, I talk about his form, how he doesn't deserve a place in the playing 11. I'm trolled on social media. People start calling me names. But the problem is, this is the same player that comes to domestic. Even here, he's getting out for 3 runs. So, at
Yeah.
what point are we going to start asking questions, or is it even not allowed in Indian cricket anymore? Are superstars beyond? I mean, even Sachin Tendulkar faced criticism till the end of his career. What is it so special about these players that we are not supposed to question them?
Yeah, coming to Rohit Sharma, he should have decided by now when he pulled out of the last test, or was he dropped? We don't know. He pulled out of the last test in Sydney. That time itself, he would have made up his mind. He comes back to India, he's meeting the BCCI, and he says, I want to continue to be captain of India again till he decides. So that is a wrong message being sent out. So he's deciding that he will continue to play as long as he wants to do. And by playing this match and failing, I mean, he might have failed this match, he could score in the next game. He has deprived another Mumbaiker, another lad from Mumbai, an opportunity to show his class. To sate my ego and so that I am going to prove myself, I have denied
Absolutely.
somebody else. That is the wrong thing to do. And Rohit Sharma should know that better because he himself struggled to get back into the test team. And I'm not against Mumbai or anybody,
Abs-
but I say the lobby in Mumbai works so well that they ensure the players are there. But the same thing does not happen anywhere else. All the
But
associations
Joseph,
are
the
just
problem is
dumb.
with this lobby and the focus on administrators. It is promising cricketers that Indian cricket is losing. Be it Sanju Samson or Abhimanyu Iswaran or Karun Nair. What ever happens behind closed doors. We don't know what really happens with administrators, but the problem is Indian cricket is losing out on talent. That's the reality of it. And Joseph Vedam, really appreciate you for helping us understand the entire nexus that actually is at play. Vedam, I know you want to make a point, but we're running short of time. We will, of course, talk about this again. We still have the Champions Trophy coming up, and I'm pretty sure with what's happening in Indian cricket, we are going to get a lot of talking points in the days to come. It's very volatile right now. We'll, of course, talk about it in the future as well. But really appreciate you, Vedam and Joseph, for joining us on the broadcast.